Do not fear. Do not be afraid. Why? Because you are eternally safe. Nothing can truly happen to you because you are that which is real. You are ultimately that which is true. And as the saying goes, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal ever existed. All of these things that we fear are ultimately part of the dream. And it's not really real or true. And it doesn't mean it doesn't have a value. We cannot play with it. But ultimately, it's not real. It's just an appearance. It's just a game. So you can rest, you can relax, and you do not have to fear. Tell yourself, impress this upon your heart. There is nothing that you have to fear. This is the way to the kingdom. By not fearing, by not being afraid, by not looking the other way when fear arises, but looking at that in the eye and embracing it. Embracing all of those things that you are fearful for. Because that holds the fuel or the acceleration for your journey. It's not in the comfort that you will find the hero's journey or the fulfillment of all your wishes. It's seemingly on the other side of fear. But when there's nothing to be fearful for, that includes fear, then you can face those fears. And you can actually touch base with those things you actually want and that you admire in other people. They have just been able to move beyond these fears, beyond these doubts, into who they truly are. Don't let fear hold you back. Because it's ultimately not real. It's when our mind projects something to be scary, but in all actuality we might see a snake, but actually it's just a rope. Because we're not seeing clearly. And this is what seeing clearly helps with, is to discern what is actually true from what is not true. And if you investigate these fears that you have, which naturally you're quite afraid to look at, and you all the time try to evade anything that makes you remotely feel fearful. But what if you just face that head on? Gently, lovingly. Of course, there's a time and there's a place for this. And you have to be wise in the way that you approach this fear. You don't have to start with your greatest fear unless that excites you. And you're like, okay, let me just get the worst out of the way. And then you can actually look at what that fear is. Whatever that might be. Usually it's like public ridicule, looking ridiculous, feeling that we can lose ourselves or lack existence or die or like not be here anymore. But if you actually investigate that, and please do it while we do it right now, maybe practice with a smaller fear, like I don't dare to speak to strangers, or public speaking is scary for me. Or you can apply it to like a bigger fear, an existential fear of not existing, of dying and not being anymore. And just investigate that. Just briefly start looking at it. Whether it's that smaller or that greater fear, just investigate it. Okay, what am I so afraid of will happen in these social settings, that I ridicule myself or that I don't even dare to ask for directions? What is it that I'm afraid of? And be curious, be rigorous, like a scientist discovering on what the cause of something is. And then you will discover that the cause is inaccurate thinking, believing something that is actually not the case. And again, don't take my word for it. Like really rigorously investigate your fears, see what you're afraid of, keep asking questions further, like, okay, and then what? And then what? And then what? And then you will discover that there's really nothing to be afraid of. But it does take some sort of illuminating of the shadow. You cannot just be like, okay, I'm not afraid. No, just look at the fear. That will then be a testimony to you, I think, become more fearless. And you can practice this muscle. You can even get greater conviction in the fact that there's really nothing to fear. It is not real. It's just a dream. It's just an appearance. And even if the dream turns into a horror movie, You can still realize, oh, I'm sitting safely in the theater, watching this movie. It is not affecting me. I am safe. And when you have that conviction more clearly, this is why we also promote self-realization as really learning what is I am, what is this sense of me, beyond the ideas and thoughts and mental perceptions, the direct recognition of that awareness right now that never leaves you, that is always there, that makes possible for all your experiences, and that all your experiences confirm, whether they are good or bad, that you are, that you exist, and you cannot get around this. This is not something you can win from. This is just a fundamental fact. You are, you exist, and this being, this existence, this is beyond this dream. It's all of creation encapsulated in this oneness, in this unity. And the more that you recognize that, the more that you'll also be able to explore this dream more freely without being afraid of these shapes and these shadows intelligently arranged to give you the feeling of being frightened. And even if that happens, the awareness that knows it is still not touched by it. But besides that, also your X with an IMX, which is like self-actualization, actualizing on your true signature, on your true soul fragrance, on that essence, which is really you seeming as an individual, your contribution to the whole, to the oneness. That is also made of love and of light, and it functions like a torch that once it's lit up, once you clearly identify yourself as I am X, I am this, then you can safely start exploring these shadows and these fears, and you can light them up and you can expose them, and you can see they're not that scary. But this, again, it does take some practice. It does take some I am and some action. But the more that you master this, the more that you will be able to not be crippled by fear. And you can just walk freely into any room without keeping yourself small and doing all of these things. This is no way to live, my friend. This is no way to live. So, know who you are and learn to express from that knowing of who you truly are, and put that which you truly know, maybe not as surely yet, but something that you know, which you feel is true, and connect with that light, connect with that love, illuminate that so much until you can face your fears. Because there where there is love, there where there is faith, fear cannot be present. It cannot come up, but it won't let you wobble on your constitution. So be fearless, my friend. Know that you are ultimately always already fearless, that nothing has ever touched you and that nothing ever will, that you are at the source of all experiences. There's nothing that is greater than the essence that you are. You are true. You are that which is real. And all of this is not real. Doesn't mean we can't play with it and use it like a game. A game is also not real. But the goal is to play it and not to get crippled by fear. To choose love, to choose faith, to choose who you know yourself to be inside of your heart, and then nothing will stand in your way. Not even the big scary monsters that the fears make themselves out to be. So just take a moment with me right now and just connect with your truth, even if that is just a vague feeling, even if that's just a resonance or an intuitive knowing inside of you. Somewhere you know, like, I am this, I know this, I know this, I know I'm meant for great things, I know I'm greater than this. Something along these lines, and just connect with that and just take a deep breath into that. Allow that love, that light that is present in that knowing to increase, to become more powerful, and to put your faith, to put your trust in this intention, in this knowing. Even if it's just not fully convinced yet, tap into that knowing and now start to illuminate your shadows, your fear, ever so gently, ever so lovingly. Expose it to the light of your heart. And you will see you have the freedom to move, and you won't be crippled, keeping yourself small by these shadows anymore. You will actually go towards the shadows like an innocent child, exposing all of these fears to yourself, so you may remember that there's nothing to be afraid of. You're always already free. You're always already okay. There's nothing that can hurt you. So just relax and playfully assume that which you want to radiate into creation, and let no fear, no doubt stop you from staying true who you really are, your I am and your X nature. Feel free to book a one-on-one with me. They're donation based. You can find the link in the description to get your journey of IMX started and to really start mastering this subtle art of staying true, so you can play this game of life. Again, remembering it is just a game. It is just a play. What is my next level? What is currently that which I'm geared towards achieving or having a breakthrough with? And then starting to really, really appreciate this opportunity that we have in this game server here on Earth to awaken this flame, to make a beautiful impact, and to honor why we truly came here. Stay true, my friend. Fly high, don't flinch, and stay true. You got this.